Hey everybody, video here for you today. Thought I would add one to my Ancient America series. If you follow my channel, all these Ancient America videos are different, how these sites are preserved. I've showed you some that aren't even on maps, and just guesses that they might be an Ancient America village or mound. Well, today's a bit different. I'm going to share a channel. I always like doing that. I shared a lot of channels, JJ's, Andrew's. I shared Ben's at Uncharted X when he had under 100 subs, so I like doing this. And this guy already has a well-established channel, but we're going to go down to Kolomoki Mound State Park in Georgia here, first of all, just to get this rolling here. Here's the large mound at Kolomoki. This is one of the largest mounds in Georgia, if not the largest. But this site I'm going to show you today is within an hour drive of here. Can't give the location. This is on private property, but some people were granted access to it. It's a channel here I'm going to share right now. Here is a big mound at Kolomoki. Probably would have been one of the highest points in the whole county, and same thing is mentioned in the video I'm going to share. And speaking of which, before I forget, thanks for all the great comments in my last video, video number 2000. They were touching, and I read every single one of them. Here's the main mound at Kolomoki. The reason why I'm showing this is because it's fairly close to the site I'm going to show you today. And when the guy gets up here, he mentions Kolomoki. It kind of reminds him of this place. So just showing you this here without any trees or anything, much unlike this site I'm going to share here. Here's the channel I am sharing from. I was emailing John last night at Sidestep Adventures. Nice guy. I like what he had to say in this video. They explore ruins around Georgia that come from the 1800s and some other things. And I haven't watched a lot of their videos, but the ones I have enjoyed. And they seem like cool people. They said a lot of good things in this latest video here. They just uploaded this yesterday. Said they didn't mind if I shared. So I want you to go over, leave them a nice comment on that video. Maybe give them a sub. They have some cool videos, stuff I'm certainly interested, that's for sure. Look from the top of the mound here. Very good sized one. This was probably built about 1500 to 2000 years ago by the woodland culture, but you just never know. It almost appears this is kind of a step pyramid mound type thing, but I will leave the links for the channel in this video in the description and at the end of the video here. Here's the video they uploaded yesterday. They walk up this mound here. It's a very impressive one. It's not small by any standards, but this will just show you that ancient America is full of sites like this. I have showed a few, but there is lost large mound sites just laying out there in the woods all across ancient America. Now, right here today, we're going to get a look at one pretty close up. Here you go. Here's about 5 minutes from about a 15-minute video here. Glad to share this. Here you go. Here's a lost mound site, the woods of Georgia.
From what I've been told, and this goes back 3 to 4 generations, that they were always told that it is a Native American burial mound. I know there was a settlement within a couple hundred yards of here.
So this is going to be pretty cool to see. This is definitely some early Georgia history that's lost in the woods. I mean, a lot of the history we look at is from 100, 150 years ago, and this could be from like 2,000 years ago, you know, that sort of thing. So it's going to be really cool to see this. And to back up what Daniel is saying, in this undisclosed location, part of Georgia that we're in right now, there's actually several Native American mounds around this area that are also privately owned, like this one, and in the woods. So, I mean, I'm pretty convinced that that's what this is. All right, so as we're coming up this hill, hopefully y'all will be able to tell on camera, there's the other hill, the mound, which is right there on top of this hill.
And there's almost like a ridge that goes around and separates it. Like it goes up, tears off, and there's another one on top. I hate that it's being logged, so it looks horrible, but you can actually tell the difference now in the land. When I was here several years ago, it looked like that. So it was hard to tell a difference.
So yeah, there's a definite descent change here. I mean, this is a lot more slopey.
You get to the top and you can see a big difference.
And you can see how the land starts sloping a great deal more up here now that we're at the mound, and then flattens out right there, and then has a more gradual slope down where the truck is. And you can see how the land starts sloping a great deal more up here now that we're at the mound, and then flattens out right there, and then has a more gradual slope down where the truck is.
Whew, I'm out of shape.
All right, so we've made it to the top of the mound, and you can see it's relatively flat up here. As flat as you would expect it to remain after years of erosion and tree growth on top of it.
Clogging and tree growth.
And look at that. We're higher up than it felt like when we were coming up here.
We're higher up than half the county.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, now that I'm up here, this reminds me a great deal of the mound that I climbed up on top of on the video where I went to the Kolomoki State Park here in Georgia, which is somewhat in this vicinity. Not terribly close, but close enough that it's relevant that there's another mound here. But coming up here, I mean, the sides are not as clean cut as they are at the Kolomoki mound, but that mound has been preserved and this one has been left in the wild. But standing on top of it, I get the same sort of feeling. It's about the same size on top of the mound as far as a walking space goes. And I'm trying to figure out if it could be about the same height. I think the one at Kolomoki Mound may be just a touch higher.
There's nothing else makes sense other than this being a Native American burial mound, because like I said, there's a couple more around here. There is a settlement not too far away from here.
And especially with the story that's been passed down from generation to generation that this is a Native American mound here. Because one thing that people don't realize is how important oral history is and how quickly it's disappearing. I mean, there's stuff that if it wasn't written down in a history book, it's only been told through oral history. Even in our country, it'll get lost. And this is a good example of it, that oral history has always said that this is a Native American mound. While it's not, you know, you're not going to look at a map and see it marked that way. The local people who've always lived here have always called it that. And so that's another reason why I definitely believe that this is a Native American mound. And another thing is, like Daniel said just a minute ago, we're in one of the highest spots of the county right now, up on this hill. And this hill to me doesn't look natural. So I think this is very interesting. This is a really amazing piece of history right here. Coming back to this end, it looks like maybe people have been driving up here to cut the trees, because there is this big pathway here. But again, it gives us a good look at the sloping side of the mound, which I hope you guys will be able to tell on camera. And then over here, where you can't tell as well because of all the tree growth, but same sort of thing, where it's just a gentle slope. And another thing is, all the sides are pretty smooth. You know, a natural hill wouldn't, you know, especially with all the erosion that happens out here, a natural hill wouldn't really be quite as smooth.